So, I know there was a little pause there in the beginning. I was fiddling around with this app. I'm just flabbergasted about what's going on out there. We have seen video upon video, testimonial upon testimonial of where there is voter fraud. Ballots being brought in the middle of the night, counted, and they're all for Biden. Magic markers being given to people to vote on ballots where it specifically says in that state, do not use magic markers. Ballots for people who have been dead for a long time, or people who do not live in that locality anymore. The liberals are pushing an agenda. They're using the mainstream media, news, and social media to basically brainwash anybody who's low information, who does not pay attention, who has no idea what's really going on. I even have family members that are in that position, unfortunately. And to be honest, sometimes it's better to let sleeping dogs lie than start an argument with someone. However, we know, we who are actually paying attention, who have been paying attention for a while now, we know the truth. We know what's going on. I have been banned off of TikTok and Facebook repetitively in the last couple of months. 5 times off of TikTok. Twice off of Facebook. I'm on another account now that is severely shadow banned and keeps telling me I can't post that because it goes against the whatever, and I've been blocked from posting this because blah blah blah. So far my Twitter hasn't been messed with, but I don't have a lot of Twitter followers, so it may not get messed with. I don't maybe show up on their algorithm. Maybe I should start. You know, it's pretty bad when you have a Facebook account for like 10 years and you've got family and friends and people you went to high school with on there and people that you've worked with or have worked for you in your business over the years. You know, people you've called family over the years, old friends, new friends that you've met online, and all of a sudden, the clear blue one morning you wake up and your account is gone. And they don't tell you why. And then you find out that 3 other people that are on your group that you run and pages that you run who are admins all had theirs taken down exactly at the same time. This censorship, this unconstitutional action against the American people so that they can get away with their coup is absolutely horrific. It's a 1984 totalitarian regime. And they call us fascists. They call us racists. But we are inclusive. We want everybody to come and wake up and become logical and productive and responsible for themselves and responsible for their own actions and not play the blame game for what happens to them in their lives. If you're a strong individual, if you are driven, if you are productive and you try, you do things to get yourself in a better place, if you are respectful and you treat your fellow man with respect and you don't just discount them because they may disagree with something, you literally sit there and discuss it with them, and you're willing to understand their point of view without calling them names, without cancel culturing their ideas. We don't try to warp history. We don't try to warp truth. We don't try to warp anything to fit our agenda, because we don't have an agenda. We have a country of freedom. We have a country of freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of press. But Benjamin Franklin made a wise decision when he had his newspaper. He had a man come to him one day and ask him to publish propaganda in his newspaper about something that he knew was untrue. and would cause issues. And he told the man, look, I will print you out a leaflet, a flyer on your printing press, and you can do with it whatever you want. But I am not printing that in my newspaper, because I have integrity. And integrity of holding truth, that's where the problem is in our news and our mainstream media these days. It is not about integrity of holding truth. It is about propagandizing information for an agenda. And they are manipulating people. They have manipulated a whole population into having Trump derangement syndrome. And it's a thing. Because believe me, I've seen these people. I've talked to these people. You can't hold a conversation with these people. They are so adamant that Trump is such a horrible person. But they don't know about him cleaning up the oceans. They don't know about the fact that there's peace in the Middle East for the first time in forget ever. They don't know about how talks in North and South Korea went. They don't know about the trade agreements. They don't know about the problems with the Paris Accord. They don't know about the NAFTA issues. They don't understand anything that comes with running a country. Everything they are involved with has to do with being victims and social justice and gender studies and liberal arts. And that is not what runs a country. What runs a country is freedoms, jobs, housing, infrastructure, safety, law and order, truth, information, availability to speak the truth and speak your mind and find the truth and be able to actually determine for yourself what is going on. But our schools have taught people to rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. People don't understand that repetitive stuff. It's like if you're a liar, for instance, if you lie about something small, for instance, you tell your parent, for instance, oh, I wasn't at a party. I was down the street at my friend Bob's house. And then something happens and you have to hide it. And you have to add more to the lie and more to the lie and more to the lie. And eventually, it's pretty obvious that it's a lie because it doesn't make logical sense. But you have to keep repeating it. And eventually, you begin to believe it yourself. God love my grandmother. I mean, I'll tell you this. My grandmother was a wonderful storyteller. She was an artist. And she would paint these pictures of, areas she had visited and been. And she basically had a story for each and every picture. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I knew when she was speaking to the customer that what she was telling was a story. It wasn't necessarily that she was lying to the person, but she was creating an atmosphere around the picture. She should have wrote books, as well as painted pictures. There's nothing wrong with being a storyteller, as long as you're not telling a story to warp someone's future opinions. There's no harm in going, oh, this painting's of a farm, and, when I was a child, it was down the street from my house, and I used to like to walk along the fence and look at the horses, and da-da-da-da-da. As long as it's got some reflection of truth, that's one thing. And you can elaborate a little bit. You can say, oh, one of the horses used to come up to the fence, and its name was Buttercup, and it, ate out of my hand. Well, maybe you didn't know the real name of the horse. Or, maybe you only wished Buttercup, the horse, would come and eat out of your hand. That's not harming anybody. But when you tell somebody something about politics or religion or society or finance or statistics on race relations or statistics on taxation or medical information, and you purposefully manipulate that data, you purposefully ignore the real data to fit your agenda, That is a harmful lie. That is not storytelling. That is manipulation. That is brainwashing. That is causing a country's downfall. That is causing fascism. And these Antifa MFs who think Donald Trump and his followers are fascists, they don't know what a fascist is. They are the fascists. They are insisting that you believe their way, or they will do you harm. They will dox you. They will call you out. They will attack you in public verbally. They physically attack people too. Some of them have even shot Trump supporters in the head or killed them by beating them. I mean, this is not a game anymore. This country is going through a manipulated and manufactured civil war based on political ideals, where one side is a stable, constitutional, moral set of people who have been in this country, built the businesses, built the infrastructure, and are trying to raise their children morally with a future, against those who are totally manipulated, brainwashed, and twisted by public education, by the mainstream media news, by movies and music, by anything that the globalists and the Democrats and the liberals and the socialists, because that's what they really are, and a communist faction can get their hands on to manipulate the people. You can't even look up Operation Mockingbird anymore and get true answers on what that was, but 3 or 4 years ago you still could. Now, everywhere you go on Google, the information is manipulated so that it favors things like BLM, it favors Operation Mockingbird. It doesn't tell you bad things about it. It tells you it was over with in the 70s. No, they never shut it down. They're still using it. You know, that's the thing right there. You don't know what they've got. But we do know that there's corruption in almost every level of government. A couple days ago, there was a video that came out online that was a bunch of people who were in the government in different positions, some of them in low positions, but they were all anti-Trump, anti-American communists who were purposely stating that they were in the government to manipulate things and to stop the American people from having their country. Basically to take it over. To ruin the Trump campaign. To ruin nationalism and pride in your country. To ruin America. To destroy the republic. Because it is a republic, not a democracy. It is a democratic republic. There is a difference. And a socialist democracy is nothing more than a fascist faction in the long run. Because you rinse and repeat. Believe what we say. Come on, people. We'll shame you if you don't follow. Wear the mask. Wear the mask. Wear the mask. It's 1984 in 2020. It's time to wake up before we're all memory hold.